Rugby is the greatest sport in the world, and it has served up an absolute banquet this weekend in the Six Nations. Final game has just finished between Wales and France. These are my initial thoughts immediately following the final whistle. It's just blown at the Principality Stadium, and I've hit record here on Egg Chasers. I'm Tim. These are my instant thoughts following the game. I want to know yours down in the comments. And the first place I want to start, rugby is the greatest sport, and there are things that happen at rugby games that you just couldn't pull off anywhere else. Max Boyce. Now, there's a lot of people, possibly outside of Wales, that aren't aware of just what absolute royalty this man is. He's a legend, and how good for the 25th anniversary of the Principality Stadium, which is such an awesome place to watch rugby. With the roof on, I was there earlier in the Six Nations for that Scotland game. The noise that place can generate is incredible. And an absolute icon in Wales in Max Boyce doing a rewritten, bespoke version of hymns and arias. Even getting a dig in at the WRU. I mean, you can have a hacker as a curtain raiser for a game, or you can have Max Boyce. And this Six Nations, we've had... I mean, I want to see every home Wales game and every home Ireland game. I want to see this fella and Stevie Mulrooney, because they have stolen the show in the Six Nations so far. Onto the actual game, and it was so entertaining. I haven't even said the result at this point. Great win for France. Really, really good win. And the power told in the end. 45 points to 20 in the end. So a very convincing win in the end, but that does not tell the whole story. And I'm curious how you'll be feeling as a Wales fan following this one. Because I've been saying on the channel, and I think the reality has been up till this point, 3 defeats, but a lot of positives. Are there some mixed feelings after that, or are you still kind of happy with where Wales are? Because the context is, when you look at the team sheet, they're missing some absolute worldy players, and there's a load of young guns. And Warren Gatland's selection, do you give him even more leeway on this result because he picked Owen Watkin and Joe Roberts as his young centre pairing instead of the experience of Nick Tompkins and George North? Or do you actually think that because he took that bold selection that wasn't necessary, actually it needed to pay off and maybe it didn't? I'm curious what you think about that. But I mean, the first half was absolutely breathless, and I loved how Wales were just having a crack and going for it. They recognised that they were probably losing a stone a man, maybe more, to the French pack, who were absolutely monstrous, and the bench that came on as well. So they just wanted to speed the game up, and it started really well. Sam Costello with a penalty, Thomas Ramos making it 3-3. France were ruthless over the ball, really good defensively. And then out of nothing, this guy, Rio Dyer, scored a fantastic try. It was a wayward Nolan Le Garrett kick. Led to a line out with it was the launch play. And then just a bobbling ball. Rio Dyer picked it up, bust through a hole. Every time I see this guy play, he gets better and better. And I've just got it in my head still that Josh Adams is the senior winger and Rio Dyer kind of the apprentice. The powers are shifting. This guy might be the first name on the team sheet when they have everybody available to pick. He's been absolutely class, getting better and better. 10-3, Wales were up, which was the lead was clawed back through a penalty, a massive scrum for France. That was one of the stories of the game. And then Gael Fickou, who, can you believe Gael Fickou, by the way, is not 30 years of age yet? Unreal. Class finish. Wales got stretched. France got it to the outside, despite Wales' best efforts to defend. Gael Fickou managed to finish off. But Wales hit straight back, and this was the story of the first half. Wales was soaking it up, but never breaking. And when they had a chance, they were rolling the dice and going for it, which you love to see. Thomas Williams running a classic scrum half support line. Daft Jenkins was the decoy runner. Owen Watkin making the break. And Thomas Williams on the inside. Beautiful try. 17-13 Wales. Again, France hit straight back. It was like two heavyweights trading blows. Punch for punch. Nolan Le Garrett, player of the match, scored a try. Classic snipe, his first start, and I think he has now elevated himself above Maxime Lucu for next week and maybe beyond. He could, as a lot of people have been saying, he should be Antoine Dupont's backup when he's back in French colours. Classic scrum half snipe, and just afterwards, the most outrageous out the back no look pass. 30 full metres and managed to find a man as well. The guy is class, and that is how the first half ended. Absolutely breathless. 17 points to Wales, 20 to France, 3 points in it. But it was when you looked at the statistics, you thought Wales aren't going to be able to keep going at this intensity, because they were trying to tire the French forwards out, clearly, and it was working in the first half. They were moving them around, playing loose. But you looked at the stats, France had 60% of the possession and of the territory, and crucially, Wales had made more than double the tackles that France had. And with 150 kilogram giants like Uini Atonio, and then Georges-Henri Colombe and Romain Taufifenua coming off the bench, more on them in a minute, it's not just tackles you're putting in, you are putting in bone-crunching tackles to try and keep France at bay. But Wales, to their credit and the positive here, they were having a go, they were playing loose. This is not Gatland ball anymore. Gatland ball is long gone. Warren Gatland has just said, go and play, boys. It's almost like Warren Gatland's not there. And you got the sense from the way France were playing, like they've just done a classically French thing and just gone in the week, do you know what, forget the coaches, let's just do what we want to do. Because it was awesome to watch. This tournament, this weekend, has been absolutely amazing, rugby-wise. Just for pure spectacle. Forget whether you're disappointed that your team lost, or happy that your team won. The games have been outstanding. And Wales and their accuracy in that first half and the opportunism, 3 visits to the 22, 3 tries. There is definitely, that 40-minute performance there is another one that you can put on the shelf as, here is a blueprint for how Wales can play in the future, and here are some of the players that can deliver it in the years ahead. The second half is a different story, although it started really well, didn't it? Because Wales took the lead, 24-20, Joe Roberts scoring a try. And the Wales intent, that trying to move these big French men around, and it paid off. But after that point, the momentum just shifted. There was relentless attacks on Wales's line with massive men smashing into contact. Scrum 5 metres out, penalty advantage, try but disallowed from Thibaut Flamont. So I'm flying through all these pictures. I've just realised, I've got all the photos for this. Gail Ficku's try, Nolan Le Garrec's try, I meant to do that. And here we go. Eventually, after a penalty for Thomas Ramos, which I think Wales would have taken as a victory, France were banging on the door. They were like Hodor in Game of Thrones, trying to repel the forces through the door. And France went, do you know what, we'll just take 3 points. And I think Wales would have looked at that as a victory, still 1 point up. But guys like this, a debut for Georges-Henri Colombe, another absolute beast of a man, over 140 kilograms. They've just got some freaks in this French team, haven't they? And he got a great turnover in there. His ball carries, scrummaging was great. And he finished off with the try, which after going to the TMO was awarded. And another massive man that came off the bench, Romain Taufifenua, a guy that Fabien Galtier persuaded not to retire after the World Cup. He had initially said he was going to retire, keep him there for a bit. And it's been a problem position in the forwards, hasn't it, second row? But how much better did they look with Thibaut Flamont and with Romain Taufifenua on the bench? And Manny Meafu is going to be the heir to this guy's throne in the longer term, and we saw that. But there you go, Taufifenua was the blocker. A little bit lazy from Wales, maybe. I mean, as much as I hate the caterpillar, if you are going to box kick and the laws allow you to chuck the caterpillar in, just get the ball well away from the potential chasing players like Romain Taufifenua. That said, great charge down, good score, and the game was pretty much done at 37 points to 24, but there was still time for a penalty for Thomas Ramos, and then a final try from Maxime Lucu, who combined with Damien Penaud down the wing. And it was nice to see, just Damien Penaud is an outrageous talent, best winger on the planet, in my opinion, has not looked like it during the Six Nations, largely, or partly at least, due to the way that France are playing, lacking a bit of cohesion, and it still wasn't perfect for France. They were not quite in sync in the back line, but that was a really good performance they put in Cardiff, and it sets up a really interesting game between England and France in Lyon next weekend. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the ambition of Wales. I enjoyed the power of France. I enjoyed the noise at the stadium. I enjoyed the crowd, and let's go back to Max Boyce. I enjoyed it all. And this weekend has been absolutely brilliant. Rugby's been the winner. but also France and England and Italy. There we go. What do you think? Comments down below. Hit subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. Help me reach as many rugby fans as possible. And I will see you on the next one.